Good morning, YouTube people. What is good? Thank you so much for joining me on today's little adventure. I'm so glad you can be here. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5th Gen 4Runner and a modification that you can do to it to be able to run bigger tires, which is really exciting. This is something that I've been wanting to get done for a while now. I'm currently running 33-inch tires, 285/70 R17, and I think that the wheels that I bought with the 4Runner like two and a half years ago, I think they're a -12 offset. I have not checked yet, but when you have a negative offset with a 4Runner and even 33-inch tires, it can rub on the body mount. And that's exactly what my 4Runner does. And so we're gonna be changing that today with a modification from C4 Fabrications. We're gonna be headed over to my buddy Rob's shop to meet up with him. He's gonna be doing the work on it. Awesome guy. I met him at King of the Hammers about 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna head over there. I live in southern Utah, lots of sand, lots of off-roading down here, constantly go out like every single week. And so the car's pretty dirty. We're gonna be cleaning it real quick as well. You should always clean it before you take it to any kind of a shop, especially if you're having anything on the frame or the fenders or anything underneath the car worked on, because no shop wants to do that. So let's turn the power washer on and spray the car down real quick. I also haven't aired my tires up since the last time I went off-roading. So let's air the tires up before we drive about 30 minutes to Rob's shop. I'm really trying to focus on the body mount right here because that's what we're going to be chopping off today to ensure that we can fit larger tires or even run smaller ones like a 33, which is standard for the Toyota world, without any rubbing whatsoever. But we can also step up to a 35, and it's the beginning of preps for 37s. You can see right here on the front as well the discolored area on my body mount from where even my 33-inch tire rubs at full lock in 4-wheel drive. Okay, we have got our OTF kit from C4 loaded up in the car. Car's all clean, body mounts are clean, tires are aired up. So we are going to go drive over to Rob's shop and he's gonna help us do this install. So let's head over there and go meet up with Rob. All right, so we have made it to the shop, to Rob's place, and they have already started getting to work on the 4Runner. Pulled in and pulled it up onto the lift, lifted it all up, took the tires off, and JB, one of his employees, has already started cutting the old body plates off, the old body mount. And so we're getting ready to put the new ones on. Rob is starting to grab the ones from C4 and we're gonna paint them, which you need to do. So we're gonna paint them while JB works on removing the body mounts. Once those are removed and once everything's painted, we'll start welding the new ones on. And by we, I mean Rob. But yeah, he's gonna paint those up. So let's go check that out. Got our OEM body mount frame right there. That's the old screw and bushing. Okay, so while they're working on that, I want to talk to you guys about the OTF kit from C4 for a minute. OTF stands for Oversized Tire Fitment Kit. It is specifically on mine for the 5th Gen 4Runner, but they also make them for the 3rd Gen Tacoma. These vehicles are notorious for not being able to run large tires without rubbing, which I've been experiencing for the last year ever since I went up to a 33-inch tire. Obviously, your wheel offset can come into play with that as well. I haven't checked to see if my wheels are negative, positive, or zero. I believe they're a negative though with how much they're rubbing. Like I said, I bought them on the 4Runner when I got the 4Runner 2 years ago. C4 claims on their website that this will help you run a 35-inch tire. You might still get minimal rubbing on a 35, but I know with 33s I'll be totally good. I can flex out, articulate, stuff that tire in there, and I'll be totally good. And then by the time I put 35s on, 35s will be good as well. And then it's also a good starting point for 37s. Is it important for us to paint those, Rob?
If you don't paint them and then you weld everything to the chassis, there's a lot of areas that you're not going to be able to paint after it's welded, and then 6 months from now you're going to have a bunch of rusted parts.
Got a nice little
as far as we can get.
Clean slate here on the frame. Rob said that's how it should look. It should look that good. If it doesn't look that good,
your shop's failing you.
Exactly.
So we'll clear off, just do about a finger width, maybe more, give or take.
Give or take, yeah.
All the way around. And then same thing on the back side. So then, and the edges. So that way we get a good clean weld.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then same thing on the actual body mount. Alright, so we'll just unbolt the body mount now, raise it a little bit, get the rubber or urethane mount out of there so it doesn't melt.
There's a couple trim pieces here on the 4Runner that you need to remove to be able to get here. You guys can see this is the hole where the body mount goes through. So you'll need to be able to have access to that, obviously. And I don't know how to do this. That's why I brought it to Rob. So if you guys take it to a professional, they'll obviously know how to do this as well.
So you don't want to just go and fully weld the entire perimeter all at one shot. You put too much heat into the chassis and you can actually make that area brittle. So you can see I've kind of done it in sections. So I did this section, then I came down here and did this section, and then I moved over to the back side, did a section, came down here to the center, I did a section, and I'm giving it time to cool in between each one of those sections that I'm doing.
So it doesn't mess up my frame.
Correct.
Which I appreciate, thank you. Okay, so C4 provides a piece of vinyl to cut your Fender flares. What I actually ended up doing was removing the Fender flare from both sides. I decided I think I want a little bit of a higher clearance cut. So we're cutting basically above where the Fender flare stuck on even. And we're gonna try to come all the way down here to the bottom. We will have to make sure that the actual Fender piece still attaches, or if it doesn't, make our own, even though the C4 kit does have a piece. Just not sure if it's going to work with how much wider of a cut we're going with. So it's something we're going to mess around with and try. If it doesn't work out, then we'll make something, and I won't use the high clearance Fender liners. I'm not mad about it, so if it doesn't work out, hit me up on Instagram. Maybe I'll sell you my Fender liners if somebody wants them. But we're gonna keep cutting this side. This is the driver's side, and then switch over to the passenger side where the snorkel is. So we'll have to be really careful cutting over there, not to get the snorkel, but I trust Rob. He has been doing this for a while. He knows what he's doing. So we'll get it all cut up and done right, and go from there. So it sounds like the plan is to come back again tomorrow morning and do the other side. We decided we would just cut up the fender flares as it's starting to get late, and then we'll finish cutting the OEM body mount off and then relocating it on this side, but got the other side all done. So yeah, we're gonna go from there and keep cutting and then go home, come back in the morning. Rob came out with a brilliant idea on how to make sure that this fender stays intact and attached to the body, because if it doesn't, it kind of wiggles around. And C4 in their fender liner kit has a bracket that you attach it to, but we cut ours a little bit wider. We intentionally cut ours wider, and Rob has come up with a brilliant idea on what we're gonna do here. So walk the people through it, Rob.
So this was just extra material that was down at the bottom. I basically just reshaped this. I do have to trim it a little bit to make these body lines
Stay the same, as close as possible.
We'll trim this up just a little bit, and then we're gonna take it, and then we're actually just gonna do a stitch weld right down here to hold it to the body. Obviously, if you ever had to replace the fender, you'd have to do all this over again.
Break that weld and re-weld it again.
But it's easy to get to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna trim this up, kind of clean this paint off of here, and get this fitted better. And we also have to fit this corner a little bit more, trim it a little bit, and then we'll just kind of throw a simple weld right down at the bottom of this.
Then we'll have tons of clearance, because we're gonna cut all this off, and then I'm gonna come through and hammer all this pinch weld through here and just get that all tacked down. So we'll have, yeah, plenty of room for some nice big tires in here. Okay, so we got the body mount relocated on the passenger side, and then we got the fenders all chopped up on the driver's side. We are calling it quits for the day. We're starting to lose daylight and it's starting to get cold, so we are going to come back in the morning and do the opposite side. So we're gonna do the relocation on the passenger side and then do the fender trimming on the driver's side, and then we'll pretty much be done. So we will see you guys in the morning. Okay, it is now the next day. Been here for, I think, a couple hours now. Started cranking on this. We have got the body mount relocation started here. We've got the OEM factory one removed. And then we're gonna get ready to weld it on the driver's side. And we also have hammered in the pinch welds here, and we're gonna get ready to paint those on the interior of the wheel wells. Then here on this side, we got JB working on a couple things as well. But this side, we've gotten the fender liners trimmed up finally, or fender flares, I mean. Trimmed up, we just need to buff them, make them a little bit smoother. But we've got the relocation bracket already done on this side, so we are nearing completion. While JB and Rob have been working on these, I actually started on another project for something that's coming up here soon. I've got a rear bumper on the way from Descent Off-Road, so I actually removed the plastic bumper, the few clips there, and started hammering on the wheel wells in the back here, and removed a couple of the plastic clips that they require for their bumper as well. So I'm going to be running no bumper for probably a week or two until that shows up. Last I talked to Descent, the orders were being completed and it should be ready to ship out in a week or so. We've got, I think, 23 days left until Overland Expo SoCal. So the time crunch is no joke. There's going to be a lot going on the 4Runner. Also, my vinyl wrap showed up yesterday, so we're going to be vinyl wrapping the 4Runner. I'm still not entirely sure if I'm doing it myself or if I can find a shop that can do it for a decent enough rate. It's not anything crazy. I wanted to do something really cool with some graphics and like a crazy logo, but just didn't have the time to do that. So just got a single color, and we're just going to throw the sponsor logos and graphics on there and go from there. Lots of other things in the works, but things are nearing completion for this project, at least until we get started on the bumper, the wrap, and a few other things. But cranking along, almost done here. All right, you guys, we have got everything all completed here on the 4Runner. So now we're gonna be able to fit some 35-inch tires, hell, maybe even 37s on here. But I know these 33s will clear like nothing. It'll be super easy until I upgrade to the next size of tire. Once I do that, I will definitely give you guys an update on Instagram. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me over there. But yeah, this is all complete. So we're gonna drop the 4Runner back down, get back on the road, and we're gonna go hit some trails and not have any more tire clearance issues. But let's go chat with Rob for a second here and see what Rob has to say. Rob, how was the install? How did it go overall?
I feel like the install went pretty good. I think it definitely took more time than
we thought.
When we thought. Yeah, we're 2 days deep into this, and I was for sure that we were going to get it done in
a day.
But, oh well.
Maybe a couple hours in the morning. Yeah. That's always how installs go, though. Is it's like they usually always go a little bit longer.
But
But
you didn't tell me about the fender chop.
Exactly.
That
well,
was a little bit added.
Yes.
You said Body Mount Relocation, and we ended up doing a little bit more.
Yes, we did do some extra work. So we got this done. I tried to help where I can, but obviously Rob is the professional. So many hands make light work. Got it all done here. Lots of fun. And he did a super good job too. Like, we painted the inside of the wheel wells here, at least the upper portion, so that it looks better. Looks super clean. So for all of the expos, you guys can thank Rob when you see it for making things look so pretty.
Don't forget to tell them that you're going to add the edge trimming.
Yes, we are going to add edge trim here. The 4Runner is getting vinyl wrapped, like I mentioned, and then I'll go pick up some edge trim so that once the wrap is done, I'll put some edge trim here as well, because obviously that's pretty sharp. You guys don't want those burrs going in anything. We try to clean up as much as possible, but putting that edge trim over it will cover it all up and no issues there. So, Rob, tell the people why they want to come to a professional for this. Obviously, like, they'll do this if they know how and feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. I myself, this is not something it would take me a long time to learn how to do this, and you went to school for it, and you've been doing it for how many years now?
I have been in business since 2017, but I've been doing stuff like this probably over 10 to 15 years maybe.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, as a kid I remember cutting, grinding, welding. I always had a passion for it. So I've been doing it for a long time.
Sick. Well, the video's pretty much over, but go ahead and plug yourself. Tell people where they can find you. If you guys are in Utah, even if you're in northern Utah, hell, California, Rob does a really good job. He specializes in mostly Jeeps, but he's really good at everything. So he has a lot of Jeep customers that send their Jeeps out to him for him to build. So if you guys even wanted to ship a vehicle, you can totally do that as well. But Rob, give yourself a little plug. Tell people where they can find you on social media and what kind of work you do or how they can get a hold of you.
So I'm Rob Barber. I own Adventure Bound Off-Road, and we're right outside Hurricane, Utah. I'm not your standard shop. My shop is at my house, so please don't just show up, but give me a call and we'll get you on the schedule and get you taken care of. My Instagram is aboffroadrob, and YouTube is Adventure Bound Off-Road.
Sick. All right, you guys, that is a wrap for this video. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate it, dude.
Glad to help.
If you guys learned something, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, you know, anything you can do to help the channel out. I appreciate it. It doesn't cost you guys anything. That is it for me, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Hold it.
Pull it back, like close to the body mount. Yeah, leave it there for a sec. Yeah, guys, like, I kid you not, like, I can stick 3 fingers in between here.
That's what she said.
I couldn't even get a finger like this before. Like, 3 fingers, that's how much room I have. And then there's obviously tons of room right here as well. Freaking so much more clearance now.